Oh, you know what? I know for a fact that the Discord audio is not going to work because I'm not looking at the general channel.
Yeah, you should probably fix that.
Well, no. So the thing, oh, it's working now. So the thing is,
There we go.
like with how I do the audio setup, is that if I'm not looking in the channel, I was looking in when I set it up the previous week. It won't go because it's looking specifically for Discord looking at this channel because Discord is an asshole. And the name of the program for Discord or the application for Discord changes depending on what channel you're looking into. Browsers do that too, but it's to be expected with browsers, not Discord. Anyway, we're live.
All right. Well, I guess welcome back everyone to our next session of Here Be Dragons. And who will be giving the recap today?
I can do it today.
All right, by all means.
I need to get my notes. Hold up. Wait, are these the notes from last session? Last session was the 26th, right? No, I'm correct.
The last session was
yes, I believe.
20.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. I got so much has happened. Jesus. Okay. So, last session started off with the egg that we found cracking and opening up to reveal a little silver dragon wormling. The dragon is fully intelligent, can only speak Draconic. And the dragon and Lessla have a little chat. And we find out that each kind of floating tablet that we stumbled upon is associated with a different school of magic. Corvus kind of like did his monk thing, meditated, and just kind of reached out for one and touched one, and it immediately turned him into a statue of gladness. Cheese screamed, and Lessla was like, "Alright, let me touch more of them." What happened next was Cheese took one of the tablets, using her mage hand, touched it back to Corvus. Corvus was no longer a statue, but he was turned into a, I believe it was a fiend or a half-devil,
Yeah.
aka Will from Baldur's Gate 3. Corvus is not very happy about that, and Lessla goes to continue touching more of them. I can't remember how many she touched, but eventually she got...
Yes.
The
Shield, mirror.
Of a 9th level counter spell, and what's the...
So,
damage? Is that what it is?
So here's what I touched. I touched illusion twice, and I touched abjuration twice. I got shield, 9th level counterspell, mirror image, and the last one what was the last? Oh, haste.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ninth
that
level
was it.
counter spell.
Yeah, and then Lessla was okay, first, Sapphire touched the divination stone, and she just got advantage on, what was it, perception?
Yep.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Anything that was
Insight
like
and
Yeah. And then, after that, Lessla says she's reaching for the evocation stone. Sapphire's like, no, and gets the fuck out of there.
I've got self-preservation.
Yeah. And then Cheese, as Lesla's reaching for it, grabs Lessla and is like, "What the f*** are you doing?" And Lesla's like, "Well, I just want to see what it does." And Cheese is like, "No, you don't. You fucking idiot. No, you're not." And then Lesla's like, "Fine. Whatever. It'll be fine." And then we start getting ready to leave, and then Lessla uses Mage Hand to scoop all of the tablets into her bag. The tablets basically react to one another, and they cause a huge explosion, sending out the little tablet. One of them hits everybody. I can't remember what it did to Syndrus. Lessla got hit by all of them. Lots of things happened. Mainly the fact that she got turned into a pseudo-dragon that also looked like a demon, or a half-demon, or a half-devil. there was an explosion of acid, I think. Yeah, there was acid. And then Corvus, what happened when you got hit by another one?
I could not be compelled by.
Sleep.
Yes.
He was immune to sleep.
Yeah. Lessla also got charmed by Cheese, and then Cheese got hit in the face and now has disadvantage on wisdom saving throws. But after all of the tablets went haywire, they actually stabilized into one larger tablet. Now, Cheese basically picks Lessla up by the scruff of her neck, hands her to Corvus, and is like, get them the fuck out of here before I actually just bite someone's head off. Corvus is like, okay. So they go. Cheese takes the tablet, but doesn't tell anybody that she has it, and then leaves with Citrus. We are on our way out, and kind of while we were in there having that entire spat of chaos, Sapphire met Vale, who was the young man we were looking for. We talk for a little bit, and everyone comes out. We're like, "Are we ready to get the fuck out of this cave? Because we're ready to get the fuck out of this cave." So we got the fuck out of that cave. We got back to the well that we kind of like jumped into, basically, and we're trying to scatterbrain, come up with ideas. Corvus starts to leave though, and Boy follows him, and then.
Saddest part of the whole game.
Yeah. Corvus explains to Boy that, well, they don't want me here, especially not when I look for dicks. They aren't coming after me. And Boy is like, nuh-uh.
But friends! Give the biggest puppy dog eyes.
So what is likely the first time, Boy actually grabs onto Corvus and, like, it starts pulling him back. Corvus is like, fine, you little shit, and then goes back and meets everyone. Oh gosh, what was the artificer's name again? Klaus?
Klaus.
Klaus is like, hey, I've got some beds if you want to stay here tonight, because it's really late. Also, these
You also
two
can't get back
drow
into
are
town.
here. Yeah. And so we stay at his house for the night. Everybody that slept, the effects wore off. Cheese, I think, was the only person that did not sleep and was still has the disadvantage and a point of exhaustion. And now we are headed back now.
All right. So you all make your way. It's a little bit earlier now, and you do have two drow who you're keeping, I believe, under fairly close guard. Are you allowing them to keep their weapons, or?
Why would we?
That's
What we
I'm
got?
asking.
No.
What are they gonna fucking do?
What was that?
What are they gonna fucking do?
Okay, I'm just asking.
It would probably be best if we keep their weapons so that the guard, because if we don't keep their weapons, the guards will confiscate them most likely.
It's a possibility. But all right, if that is indeed the case, then you all head in with them, and do you catch a carriage to the Temple of Elstree, or do you walk?
So while we're discussing this, we have a dragon currently polymorphed
Yeah.
Yes.
that
we
only
do.
lasts for an hour. So Lessla, in the vein of trying to keep the dragon a secret for now, is going to split from the rest of the party and take the dragon to where she and Cheese stay, because it's very easy for a wizard to explain why they have a young child.
Mm-hmm. So just to confirm, your plan is to leave the dragon alone.
No, I'm going to leave Clouth with her and the crow.
Are we sure that's like a great combination of guardians?
It's better than leaving it alone, and unless you want me to stay with her, and you guys go collect the quest, uh, there's not really much we can do because as much as I as a player trust all of you, I do not trust people you associate with. The only person I trust the people who they associate with is Cheese, and Cheese lives with Lessla anyway.
Because you are the people I associate with.
Exactly.
What's wrong with Jasper? He's fine.
The woman that he slept with.
You don't even know about that.
You're right, I don't. But people are people. I don't know who Jasper associates with. And
If you want to leave the dragon alone, well, sorry, without human supervision in the inn, you are welcome to. I will talk, because Lessa would know this. It is still a
It's still a
dragon.
baby. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. There's one last person that I can trust to watch it in the inn. I'm going to give a letter to the crow and tell it to go find Lara.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give Lara any details. I'm just going to say, meet me at my inn. And the reason why I'm fine doing this is because Zarfea is with us, and Zarfea shares a room with Lara. So this is probably going to come out anyway. So we might as well rip that Band-Aid off and have a babysitter.
I'm fine with that.
So while you do that, the rest of the party is gonna start taking Vale back to his mom.
Mm-hmm. And I should and depending on how you guys go, I should be able to meet you there along the way because carriage.
So if they're taking a carriage, then Lessla will most likely miss out on the conversation. Because it will take you that long to divert and explain to Laura what's going on before you can get back out and get another carriage.
You could leave Syndrus to explain it, and then Lessla just catches the closest carriage.
I mean, you're welcome to do whatever you want. Again, right now, the dragon does still appear like a pseudo-dragon.
No, it's a
I'm just
child.
making you aware of what is going on.
Yeah, polymorphed into a child right now.
Yes, that will wear off before you get there.
Okay. Well,
so the driver of the carriage might be a little concerned as to why there is now one less child getting off with you, but he's probably seen far stranger things in Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just practicing my illusion magic. Anyway.
So what is the consensus on what to do?
Drop Syndrus off. Send the letter to Lara. Have Syndrus wait in Lesla's room with the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Lara just meets in the room. That way we can all still leave together.
Yeah, probably the best bet then.
That way the dragon has two people watching over it as well. So.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Is everybody else okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
I assume Corvus is brooding as per usual.
I guess it's like, why does it have to be Lesla's room if it's going with Syndrus? Why not just go to Syndrus and Lara's room?
Right.
That is true.
Adding the element of being Lesla's room complicates things if it's not Lessla going.
Yeah.
again, you can always just take it with you. That is a viable option.
We can always take it with us and just ask her not to talk.
She will probably just think it's a normal pseudo dragon
Yeah.
until
so
it
dragons
grows.
can't talk.
That's what
And we have to
Tell the-
gently
tell the
tell the
dragon.
dragon to shush.
that's what I was saying.
But
We can take it with us.
It is entirely up to you what you do.
Yeah.
But I am going to make it clear as a GM that leaving a dragon largely unattended in an unfamiliar space, with the only people to guard it being Zarfea, Klauth, and an absent-minded Fey Crow, may not be the best idea.
Oh, I always forget.
take it with us.
Yeah, I always forget that Zarfea is not the most perceptive of people. Or
Zarfea
subtle.
is not the most perceptive of people, and she is also mentally about as old as Lessla.
Okay, we'll just take her with us. I will just explain very calmly and very clear terms that that Diorn shouldn't talk.
All right.
And the only thing I'm worried about is that this elf might be able to, the elf that Vale's mother might be able to identify it as a dragon. That's the only reason I was worried about that.
But we just kill her. If that's
It is
okay.
a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
Just kill her. That's easy enough.
I don't think we should kill major religious leaders.
She's not a religious leader.
She's not.
Or the student of Elminster.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem. There's no killing her. Not at this level.
That's details.
Look, catch her unawares will be fine.
All right. Then we'll go. Then we'll do that. So that is the plan. We'll just. We could just have the dragon hide in a bag.
That is a distinct possibility.
Yeah. All right.
Which bag would the dragon be hiding in, though?
I assume one of Leslie's.
Yeah.
She's got that
That are
found
filled with
quality
tools?
bags.
Yeah, I do have. My bag is filled with tools. Actually, no, it's not because I leave my tools at the smithy when I'm not going on a long adventure. Because there's no reason to take them with me if I'm just going out for a stroll.
Okay, fair enough.
Only thing I had was like a chisel to, samples.
Okay. In that case, you all make your way towards the Temple of Elstree.
Yep.
And once upon arriving there, oops, let me make sure I actually give you all that map.
Did you fix the walls?
Where is that map? There it is. Probably not. That may have been something I forgot to do.
Yeah, the walls aren't fixed.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It's not.
Well, we can walk through them, so it doesn't particularly matter.
Should probably get rid of the person who's not with us anymore.
Oh yeah, I probably should. I should probably have the person who is.
Person?
Vale.
We lost one elf when we got another. I don't know why they keep coming to us.
I'm fine with it.
Not on top of everybody.
No, you're good.
But no, you are all ushered in. The two drow are led off. Do you relinquish their equipment, or do you
Yeah.
keep it?
We relinquish it.
I don't really have any use for it.
That's deep crystals.
Yeah, like,
Rape. Actually, what type of weapon was it?
deep
It was
crystal
a-
messer.
Yes.
A messer. Yeah.
Actually, if they had any arrows, I'd probably take the arrows.
Nope,
They have
crossbow
bolts.
Bolts.
For the crossbow.
Damn.
For the hand crossbow.
They all made of fungus, or whatever the dark cross ultimate.
Yeah.
Not
Eh.
the Myconids, no.
All right.
Now, as you are all led back, you do once again see the familiar woman sitting there. She stands up to greet you all as you enter, and you can see a flash, just barely. She does a good job keeping herself a somewhat hard to read, but there's an obvious flash of relief when Vale walks through the door. Which you find odd, seeing as she said she was keeping a close eye on him.
Sus.
I could probably interpret why. Probably whatever abjuration or enchantment she put on whatever object was protecting him wears off after one use.
Possibility.
All right.
It seems like I made the correct decision in who I employed. You've all done very well.
Thank you.
And as promised, and she pulls out the scroll and hands
hold
it
his
over
hand
to
out.
you.
Let's stand up.
Lessla.
Corvus is the one holding out his hand to receive.
Yeah.
Who
I
was
was going to assume Corvus was the first, considering he was the quickest.
Well,
so
I
she is
was
going
like,
to
I was
hand
like, Cole is really holding his action to hold his hand out this entire
Yep,
time.
she is going to hand it to him.
Lessla?
Disappears into the cloak, never to be seen again.
No. I'm getting that fucking scroll. I need to know what it is. I need to know what spell that is.
It's mine, is what it is.
Here.
I've been planning this all for weeks now.
The Corvus Gambit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, as mentioned, there are some other matters I wish to discuss with you.
And those would be.
Even I mute myself to sneeze.
Okay.
Take your time.
She looks towards Vale and Vale, if you could do me a favor and step outside for a moment. I have some things to discuss. And Vale without a word, he does nod and he does exit the room.
I wonder if he's just gonna be eavesdropping. Or he's trying to.
If your mother was a powerful wizard, would you try eavesdropping on her if she told you to leave the room?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
If I succeed, I
Absolutely.
get respect. You learn how to eavesdrop on your parents regardless of who they are. Which means you're more skilled.
Mm-hmm.
Strict parents make good eavesdroppers.
Yep.
And she takes a step back and sits back down in her seat and opens the drawer, pulling out a small glass orb that she places on a pedestal.
Raised brow.
Lessla, Corvus, or Sapphire, you could all make an Arcana check
Ooh.
to try and identify it.
I love how you say or, like it's only gonna be one of us making it.
I forgot to open up my character sheet.
Always in the way.
I was just,
Unprepared. The
Well-
wizard unprepared. This is unfounded.
It's
so
always unprepared. It just they're just really smart, so they can look prepared.
okay. There we go. Not advantage. That's a 10.
Okay. So, Sapphire and Lessla and Corvus, all of you can tell that this is a scrying orb.
Mm-hmm.
This is a scrying device of some sort. Corvus, you can tell that it is active, but there is something odd about it. If it's active, it should be showing something. It's simply showing swirling gray.
Of course, like, raises an eyebrow and it kind of scratches his beard a little bit. Looking at it.
She reaches down and actually pulls out a second one, and it is the same thing. Placing it on a secondary little pedestal she has.
So what is it we're meant to be seeing?
One is meant to show me you, and the other veil. The one meant to show me you became like this shortly after you all descended the well. The other one, sometime later, and then cleared up once again. When it did, the creatures assailing Vale were deceased. Only for it to later cloud once again.
The only thing Sapphire can really think of was like shortly after entering the well, she's gonna pull out the necklace she got for her brother. I mean, I picked this up when we descended the well. Does this have anything to do with it?
She will hold out her hand for it.
I will place it in her hand.
She runs her fingers over it. And you do see her go and cast something. Examining it once more before placing it down on the table. It is indeed a ward against scrying magic. And a very powerful one.
Interesting.
And you found this at the entrance.
Yeah, I did. In the water.
Was that all you found?
At the entrance, yeah.
But there was more further in.
Yes.
It is the Undermountain. There's always more to find. Sadly, not everything is something that can be brought back.
And what else was found was left in there.
Out of character, didn't we also take the other necklace?
Lessla does,
Lessla
yes. Yeah, Lessla has it.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we also took a second necklace that we found later on in the Undermountain.
May I see it?
Lessla, slightly peeved that Sapphire mentioned it, pulls it out.
This is a powerful wizard.
It doesn't mean they have a good
We want
insight.
her-
It doesn't
we
mean
want
she...
to be friends with her.
Do we?
Full
Yes.
connection.
Yes, but...
She is a drow trained by Elminster. Do you honestly think she doesn't have good insight?
Well, maybe she doesn't. Also, I was being vague for a reason.
It's fine.
She, as you hand it to her, she takes it and looks it over once more, placing it directly beside the other. And you found this deeper in?
Yes.
Sapphire will nod.
In what condition?
Well,
The conditions currently in.
Lessla rubs her eyes.
Is it in better or worse condition than the one Sapphire?
No, that's
That's not what she's
not what she
saying. That's why Lesla's rubbing her eyes.
Yeah. Corvus interpreting it wrong.
Yes.
I'm also interpreting it wrong then.
Lessla sighs and says, "We found it next to a body. Why, skeleton, which without proper material, proper techniques, we could not identify quite how old it was. Although it did not have any skin nor other decomposable elements to it, so I would assume it's at least a century."
She nods and turns her attention back to the two amulets, flipping them over. Look at them. They're the exact same on one side as they are on the other. And she just considers them for a bit.
If you want to see what it looked like, I can cast a minor illusion to show you.
That Lessla sighs. That is not the best way of showing a wizard how things look.
It's better than nothing.
Wait, Lessla says, "If you wish to understand some of what we saw, I can encode my thoughts and you can look into it."
She will nod and gesture you forward.
Lessla will, because I knew I was going to have, I knew I wasn't going to be doing much combat today, so I replaced my Shocking Grasp cantrip with whatchamacallit, Encode Thoughts. That's what it's called. Encode Thoughts. So I'll just got that there. Oh, it doesn't have a cast button. That's funny. Oh, can I get that? There we go. Encode Thoughts. There we go. So purely somatic components. So she reaches, puts a finger to her head and pulls. You've all seen her do this before. Pulls like a glowing sliver, a string out of her head as she holds it. Says, "Is this basically, yeah?" And holds it out and says, "This is what we saw once we got there." And basically, it's the second time that they went in, or after the memory show. This is the second
I
time.
imagine you're just showing her the room with the skeleton and the weird
Yeah.
room. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Remember, it's completely from Lesla's point of view. So at the time, she hadn't done her detect magic yet. So it's, as far as she'll see, it's just tablets. Well, floating tablets, but tablets nonetheless.
Apologies, I hit the wrong button while doing something else.
You're good.
What a noob. You know, it's really funny. We just had a conversation about this cantrip today, Shadow.
Yes. You were going on about how useless it was, if I remember.
No, I wasn't going on about how useless it was. I was talking about how much potential it had if it didn't have if the requirement to looking into another memory string that you find wasn't you have to cast the cantrip again.
Or detect
Fair.
thoughts.
Yeah, or detect thoughts, but detect thoughts is a third level spell.
So,
Second
I
level.
should elaborate.
Second level?
How much are you showing her in this detect thoughts?
basically, because basically up until Lessla picks up the amulet.
Okay. So the whole thing with the memories and everything, or is it after that?
It's after that.
No,
It's after memories.
Okay.
Really just entering the place, seeing everything, picking up amulet.
Yeah.
Okay. So she will see the floating tablets, but
Yeah. That was unavoidable in this situation.
okay. She takes the little encoded strip of light that you hand her, and you can see her cast something of her own before handing it back to you after a short moment.
Mhm.
And you chose to leave the other artifacts where they were.
I did not have a choice in the matter.
She looks back at the two amulets for a minute. Perhaps it is a good thing that you have them, considering the request I had of you.
I'm just waiting for her to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I did forget to mention. Since you have entered Waterdeep, the dragon has been very fidgety and scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people, a lot of noises. It's understandable.
Lessla would know there is another reason for it, but
Would Corvus know, or does it never get brought up nowadays?
you might be able to figure it out. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
What
Yeah,
about
because
me,
it's like
a native?
You're a native, but you don't look into these things. Corvus does. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, Corvus, you know exactly why that is as well. So both you and Lessla would know the reason for that. Do I need to elaborate that out of character?
I
or-
understand.
No, I understand.
Okay. I thought so. Just wanted to make sure.
that's why I mentioned it, because I'm like, Corvus might know.
Um, anyway, she once again opens up another drawer on there and pulls out it's an old bound, looks like notebook of some sort.
Dream Journal.
I assume you all remember the other odd requirement in my commission, yes?
Strange constitutions.
She nods. And I assume that you all have come to notice that you are different from others.
Corvus raises his eyebrow.
That is putting it lightly. And Lessla will hold her arm once again.
That you dream strange dreams you cannot explain, possess magics you should not, or
Sapphire will
even
nod.
tendencies you cannot explain.
Corvus continues raising his eyebrow. Looks confused.
And perhaps most tellingly of all, most individuals have a adverse reaction to your presence.
Sapphire tries to keep a stoic face, but her face falls just a touch because she's memories.
Boss kind of gives himself a little sniff.
Lessla will simply say, yes, this is something that we have figured out recently. What about it?
What? Corvus just looks genuinely confused, like he doesn't know what's going on.
The reason I bring this up is because Vale is one such individual as well.
Lessla just kind of rubs her temple as she says, is there some sort of prophecy that needs to be fulfilled or something? Because there seems to be a lot of us popping up. And there's somewhat of a genuine amount of anger that's coming through her voice. Not anger,
None
frustration.
of which I am aware. There is no prophecy of which I am aware, but I have indeed noticed a increase of such individuals around Waterdeep. When you come to know one as well as I have, the signs become far more clear.
Are you sure that it's not just a coincidence brought by the fact that a dragon was spotted?
I have known such individuals far longer than the time since the sighting.
Well, if you're going to reveal some knowledge to us, I suppose now's the time.
If I had knowledge to give, I would reveal it to you readily. But even I can find no reason. There is no prophecy. There is no gift of Mistra or any other deity of which I know. And there is no reason why individuals should become more common.
Maybe it's just how the world is meant to work.
Perhaps. But I cannot deny that it is a new phenomenon. During the time of my training, neither I nor my master had any knowledge of it. But in the time since, in the past 200 years or so, I have become keenly aware of it.
How closed is this room?
How closed off is it? It's so when you look around, it's actually pretty thick. Like the walls are solid, there are no windows, and the doors themselves are quite heavy set.
Vale's straining to hear every word on the other side of the door. It's like,
I can't wait for him to be like 30 feet back and not even paying attention.
no, he probably knows when the end of the conversation happens. Like, I wasn't listening.
You've been looking into this matter since your son was born.
Shortly thereafter, yes.
What have you managed to figure out?
Very little. As I said,
Yeah.
I can find no reason for such a mutation or gift or she seems to mull over something else but doesn't say it out loud. I can find no reason for individuals to be touched in this way by anything. As I said, Mistra herself can give me no knowledge on the matter.
May I ask how old your son is?
Vale himself is... She takes a moment to think.
Yeah, elf
Cold
years.
Yeah.
He was 2 last week, right?
He is nearing his adulthood. I believe 84, if my recollection is correct. Young for an elf.
My dad for half elf.
Well,
Just nods.
Well, you do know he is half drow.
yeah.
Yes.
That does not mean half elf.
Anyway, Lessla will say, well, if you have no knowledge to give, and you simply wish to bring it to our attention that your son happens to be someone in a similar vein to us, then what else is the point of this conversation?
Merely a request of you. I've heard about what you did at River's Crossing. And it gives me reason to suspect that there may be, possibly, grander events in your future. And given that you are of the same nature as Vale, I would ask that you give him a place to belong.
She's, for the first time in this entire conversation, she's still looking rather impassive. Very kind of deadpan. She just looks up at, I can't remember her name for the life of me, and I didn't, that was like the one day I didn't.
Susprina.
Thank you.
Susprina Arcaneld.
She looks up at Sabrina and says, as long as the control is there.
I personally have no issue with it either.
Doesn't he have a place here at the temple?
He does, but this isn't her fumbling over words, this is me realizing that I did not fully write down conversation. The place of a half-drow and even a male drow amongst the clerics of Illustre is a strenuous one at best. Vale himself does not draw his power from Illustre, but from Mistra, as much as he may venerate the former.
And his nature, similar to ours as it is, means that that strenuous relationship is
Every time
even...
you say that, Course just gives you a raised eyebrow.
So what I've said it. It's how I said it. How I've called it this entire time.
No, it's just how he's like, it's just how he is. Like you say what strange, like sort of what strange nature? What?
Well, just like Sasprina here, I can't explain it. I just observe it. Um, Lessla continues. His relationship would be even more strained considering those who are not used to it may find him more off-putting than they usually would.
She nods.
If they have no say against it, I will not say anything against it either.
In that case, you have my most sincere gratitude and thanks.
Of course.
Know that if there is anything I can do for you in return, you need only ask.
Sapphire is fiddling with her lock.
Lessla will say is, how connected are you to the wizarding community? I need to send a message to my master, but I do not have the capabilities of doing it at the moment, and it is a time-sensitive matter.
It would depend on which wizarding community you refer to. There are several. In some I am respected, others quite disdained.
Do you know of the School of the Wormtongue Arcana?
I can say I am familiar with it. It is not a large school, and there are not many practitioners of it, but I am familiar with them.
My master, his name is, and because I can't ever say his name without looking at it, allies.
Electual Schwaxen?
It is, yep, here's our, it's Calixwell Vixen. His name is Calixwell Vixen. Yeah.
Words that I'm never gonna be able to
Yeah. A red dragonborn.
I cannot say that I have met him personally or know of him, but I may be able to find an acquaintance who does.
If you could, I need his advice on a matter.
She nods. I can understand seeking the advice of one's own master on matters. Though if there is any light I can shed on whatever problem or discovery you may have, I would be more than happy to oblige.
Lessla puts her hand up to her temple as she thinks about it. Sighs in almost a reluctant way as she, and I'm not reaching for the dragon. So all of you get that out of your head. As she reaches into her backpack and pulls out a tome.
Tome, okay.
It is the one that was conjured the moment I was turned into a pseudo-dragon, so it was also put into the pseudo-dragon with me.
It's gone.
It's gone?
Yes.
Oh.
Everything we got besides the dragon disappeared after a long rest.
Yes.
Oh. Interesting. Well, there's no way I was gonna get that back then. You should.
Lessa
Interesting.
digs around in her bag. Where is it? Where is it?
Never mind. That thing is. That's nothing of note then. But I still need his advice on it.
She nods. I will see what I can do. She waits a moment to see if there is anything else anyone might have to add.
I'm pretty sure all that is special about my book is that it's a mixture of two different ways of doing illusion magic or magic in general. Right?
Essentially it is what Lessla would have been taught had she been born in Karatur. So it is effectively the same school of magic as Lessla practices, just with someone has gone through it with different materials.
Okay, but nothing fancy beyond that.
No, it's like I said, it's at the end of the day, it's the same building. They just had different blocks to build with.
Okay. Sapphire is debating because she's fiddling with her own locket. But as she ponders that, she will ask, "Might we take the amulets back?" And she will point to the two amulets on the table that are still there.
They are yours. I merely asked to see them.
Thank you. And Lessla will take the one that was definitely hers.
Yes.
I advise you to put them to very good use.
Sapphire standing there like it's a birthday present. I promised I'd get him something for my next adventure, and this is all I got.
I think Lessla might have figured out what she's doing with hers.
Well, first I'm going to identify it so I can understand about it.
Don't you need a pearl?
I do need a pearl. There's a lot of things I need to identify.
You do have a powerful wizard who has offered to help you out.
Yeah, we do. Fuck. Lessla.
Can we just have like 20 pearls?
No, only one of us has identify.
This is out of character being sarcastic.
I need catapult ammo.
Lessla will say, "I don't mean to impose, but would you happen to have a spare identification pearl?"
I would. I can also perform the ritual if you would like.
It is more a matter of being able to understand the things I come across when I am not here.
She nods and reaches into her robe and pulls out a small pearl that looks to you like it should do the job. And hands it over to you.
Lessla will take it, and she, which, funnily enough, she looks at her staff and she puts it into the eye of the dragon at the top of her staff.
Okay.
Question, Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Just in my brief time around our weaponry, does it look similar to the hilt?
To the hilt you have? No.
Okay. He doesn't know anything about it.
I mean, you can ask her.
Then everyone here would know I have them.
Fair.
Not gonna risk unless I get it.
You know, there are people you can ask that specialize in making weaponry. They might be able to identify it.
You wouldn't know.
I know. I'm talking about the dwarves. The dwarves.
What the dwarf wouldn't know. Wouldn't they?
Anyway, Sapphire is just gonna say, if we think of anything, would we have the right to come to you and ask then?
Certainly you would.
Yay, Sapphire she will stop fiddling with her locket. She has time to ponder if she should ask her if she might be well traveled enough to know about that.
She's the disciple of Eldminster. There are few more traveled than her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but Sapphire isn't sure if she wants to ask about that whole thing right now. Like,
Fair enough.
and I know where to find her. It's fine.
Though I will warn you, I cannot promise I will always stay in Waterdeep.
That's understandable.
Lessla.
You give us a way to contact you?
Given time, yes, I can arrange something.
Lessla will.
That would be much appreciated. Thank you.
I need to identify some
Go on.
objects. Sorry, Lesla's kind of itching to leave at this point. So she's just standing still, not saying anything.
That is all.
Very well. Once again, I must owe you my thanks.
I have something that's been bothering me.
She looks to you to continue.
Why not just teleport him out?
I could have done so. And Vale probably knows I could have done so. But sometimes there are more valuable courses of action. Ones that yield better results in the long run.
Was his eyebrows furrow at this?
I believe we shall leave.
Yes.
Of course.
Sapphire wants to pat Corvus on the shoulder, but she knows he doesn't like being touched. So
Of course,
she
it's
won't.
like being tight, so that if he doesn't expect it, he punches you in the face.
You can ask her to elaborate on that if you want.
She's a fancy pantsy wizard. As far as he knows, she's noble, and she was just like, I wanted to see if there were some good pawns I could use.
I mean, you could ask her. She's being pretty open with you. As far as you can tell.
Insight. Anyway,
You're welcome to.
I'm good. I don't.
Go ahead and make that check.
Sure. Corvus will look at her like with his brows furrowed, kind of doing that
11.
almost a glare.
As far as you can tell, she seems to be telling the truth.
And like, what do you mean by that?
I saw the chance to do something which would benefit Vale far more in the long run than for me to simply solve his problem for him. I will not be around forever to solve his problems for him. And I saw the chance to give him the chance to learn from others besides myself. It is my belief that that is what was best for him. Had I only been trained by my own father instead of my master, I would be a very different person than who stands before you now. If Vale were to be trained only by me, well, suffice to say, I think it's better he make decisions for himself than live in my shadow.
Damon up.
She'll nod to you, and you, as you have always been, are free to go.
Yes.
All right.
Needed.
Oh no, guys! Glyph of warning.
You know, it's really funny. In my Tuesday game last week, my players ran into 5 glyphs of warding. It sucks, especially when they're all proximity set, and it's when you walk within 10 feet of them, not when you step on it.
Oh no.
Are we letting Vale know, or are we just expecting Mama to
Well,
Hold on.
I was going to speak to him about it. I was going to tell him your mother has told us about your nature, and we have agreed to offer you a place in our ranks if you are willing to pull your own weight.
Hey, I'm sorry. A what?
We are offering.
And sort of as if on cue, she does step out from behind, from the door, and beckon him over.
Well, I guess she'll explain. And Lessla walks off.
It was nice meeting you. We'll probably see you around.
You as well. And thank you once again.
And Sapphire will smile at him as she leaves.
Mm-hmm. As soon as we're out, Lessla is calling for a carriage.
It's the best boy.
So you're going to wait for Vale or just leave?
Sapphire will hang behind. All she has to do is go to her brother and, spend her birthday with him for a bit, but, might as well, get to know the new party member a little bit before heading off.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be about 30 minutes or so.
That's fine.
Is it just
Sapphire's-
Sapphire, or is anyone else waiting?
I think for just in terms of like, what are we waiting?
It'd be Vale, waiting for Vale to come out. Which I guess no, Lessla would wait for him because we have to take him to the Adventurers Guild.
Then yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to split off from the others.
Yeah. Yes. All these luxurious carriages I keep somehow finding.
We're in the nice part of town.
I don't know. Waterdeep's a big city. You know how New York's got a bunch of factories? Probably just stick your hand out on the road and find
Yeah.
There are many of them. Some of them are even clockwork in nature.
You just gotta make sure you grab the ones that are honest and not the ones trying to, really get a whole bunch of money out of tourists.
making sure they're taking all the right turns.
Yeah. Oh no, this is definitely the quickest way. Only us locals know about it.
Sir, I
You
am
don't
a
have to worry.
Sir,
Goes
I
the
am
exact
local.
opposite way.
Alright, if you
that,
want to play it that way, jumps out.
We've passed Eccles Bakery 5 times. Yep, nope, this is the quickest way.
Oh, don't worry, there's 5 of them.
As we're waiting for Vale, Tease is just gonna kind of sit and pet Boy. She's actually sitting on the ground and just petting.
Sapphire will be pondering her question for Sasprina while, just playing, not exactly, just fiddling with her locket, not opening or closing it, but just like kind of just
All right. So there are
twisting it in her hands, I guess.
There are two things I'm doing. One, I'm identifying the locket, or not locket, the necklace, the amulet. I'm identifying it so I know exactly what it does. And two, I'm identifying the dagger.
It's about
Okay.
time.
So just identify. I need to look at exactly how that spell works. 'Cause there's a difference between identify and legend lore.
Yeah, it does not tell me about... It just tells me what the magic item does, whether it requires attunement. It does not tell me about the history of the item or its previous holders.
If it's cursed and they charge us.
It does not tell me if it's cursed. It does not tell me if it's cursed. Identify does not do that.
I think I looked this up.
Yeah, I have to look it up every time because I use cursed items so much in my home game. I keep giving people shields of missile attraction.
Okay. So when you cast it on the amulet, it fails.
Oh,
Son of a bitch! Alright, that's interesting. Probably because I think identify as divination magic. If the amulet itself is shielded against divination magic, it is shielded against identify. That is such an asshole thing to do. Why didn't I think of that? I'm gonna go give my players an item.
Did I think of that? That's awesome. It fails. It fails. I mean, it fails. It fails.
you know, you try like 5 more times, it still fails.
The
You can try later.
the only other way that
All of your spell slots.
well no I'm ritually casting it, so it's gonna take 22 minutes. The only way I could learn what this amulet does is if it requires attunement and I try to attune to it for an hour. So that's the next step on that front. But dagger time.
Well, keep in mind, you do also know that there is someone who is able to give you some insight as to what it does,
There is.
which you cannot even glean from this thing.
Yep.
You have options.
I do have options.
You also know that she is a much higher level caster than you.
Yes, I do. But Lessla is stubborn and has her wizarding pride. I'll think about it. I'll think about
As
it.
for the dagger,
Yeah.
as for the dagger, when you look at it, it does require to be attuned.
Mm-hmm.
The properties of what it does, as to exactly how this does, it is tied to the river Styx. This
Oh.
dagger.
What?
There is a connection, however small, but there is a connection. And it can, not very reliably, at least not in its current state, call upon that power and that connection. While attuned to it, any attacks it makes are necrotic. Then they do overcome resistance to necrotic damage. Not immunity, but they do overcome resistance.
There are very few things that are immune to necrotic. Most of them are ghosts.
At the same time, occasionally this power surges uncontrollably, both to the benefit and detriment of its wielder.
Mm-hmm.
A roll of a 20 on the dice for an attack causes the dagger to deal an extra 1d20 damage.
Oh.
A roll of a 1 on the attack causes it to do that to you, as it drains away a bit of your soul.
Oh.
Fuck that. The fuck did the dragon want with this?
To sacrifice people.
I mean that, yeah.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
Lessla does that, she had first put the necklace on. After she had done that, and then she identifies the dagger. And after she identifies the dagger, you watch her put the dagger back where she had been keeping it, and put her hands together as she ponders the dagger. Well, Sapphire, do you want to know what the dagger does? I don't know if it's cursed or not.
If you want to roll an Arcana check to glean,
Oh, sure, I can absolutely do so.
if you want to glean more information as to how one would go about doing that, you can make an Arcana check.
Okay, would this be an advantage?
It will not be an easy check.
Okay.
It would not.
Okay. That's a 19.
So, you would know that there are not many individuals capable of doing that. And even fewer still on the material plane. Most likely, those who would be able to do something like this would be those who are skilled in the use of souls for more nefarious purposes.
Hags. Devils.
Considering the river Styx is the river of souls.
Mm-hmm.
Most denizens of the lower planes could fit that bill.
Mm-hmm. So, Sapphire, would you like to know more about this dagger?
I don't like the tone of your voice. It makes me feel like I'm not going to like what I know
Well,
or find out.
it could be good. It could also be very bad.
Eyes squinting.
Alright, well, first of all, when you use this dagger and you attune to it, it does require attunement. And mind you, I know what the dagger does. I don't know if it's cursed or not. So, everything with a grain of salt.
Sapphire's just, her eyes are just gonna kind of like dart to where she knows Flowers is chilling in her hair. Like, is this bitch for kind of thing?
Anyway, the first thing it does is that when you use this dagger, it has a connection, slight connection to the river Styx. When you use it,
Sapphire's eyes just wide, like what?
when you use this dagger, it will literally rot away your enemies. I.e., it will do necrotic damage.
I should clarify. Necrotic damage is the most fitting. It does not eat away at their physical form. It eats away at their soul.
Okay, so it
attempting to pull it into the river Styx itself.
Okay, so it eats away at their soul. Now, that's the most mundane thing about it, actually.
That's the most
Yes, it's it can probably be improved, but it is also erratic.
Lovely, a dagger that's connected to a river Styx that's erratic. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want that?
If you hit quite well with the dagger, it will draw more of their soul in than usual to the river Styx. If you are unlucky, it'll try and eat your soul.
I will pass. I like my soul where it is. Thank you very much.
Oh.
One mechanical thing I forgot to clear up. It is a +2 weapon when attuned.
Hmm.
I hate that I'm turning it down, but I have to.
Well,
Sapphire would not want that.
and just so you know, this weapon. Actually, you've never actually attacked with this dagger, have you? It's only been Lessla who's been using it. This
Yes.
dagger.
Lessla and Corvus.
No, Corvus never used this one.
Really?
I was the one that had it, and then Lessla wanted.
Oh no!
And then Lessla
I
had
thought
it
you meant the Dragon Gold one.
No.
No, the amputating one.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. The dagger itself.
Amputating knife.
I still don't know what the fucking illusion on it is. That didn't get identified. So, the dagger cuts quite well. You've seen me use it before. It cuts actually about as well as our Dragon Gold daggers do. But it will cut better if it is attuned to you.
Why are you trying to sell me on this dagger when I've already told you I don't want that? I like my soul where it is. I would pass on that.
I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm trying to inform.
Sounds like it.
I'm trying to inform everyone of what it can do. If you do not wish to use it, you do not have to. I will not force.
Sapphire's mostly thinking it's better in our hands than it is in the cultists.
Mm-hmm. And too bad I don't want to attune to weapons, because that is a shitty thing for wizards to do. Weapon attunements for martial classes. I'm not giving. Do you want this?
Oh, I'll clear my throat.
Now, don't mind me. I'm going to delete that completely from my character sheet because I was holding on to it. Not holding on to it.
Shadow. While we're waiting.
What was that? Mm-hmm.
While we're waiting. Everyone knows describe what they were doing. So, is there a temple of Eliki around?
Not inside the city walls. No.
I will remain here doing nothing.
Yeah. The turns out the city, kind of the opposite of her thing.
I know. It's just there was a chance there could be like a temple, if not here, then somewhere else. But yes.
Is there anything else that anyone wishes to do while they wait?
Corvus is meditating. At Fear Temple, he'll meditate. And he doesn't know how long he has, but he hopes it's at least 10 or so minutes.
Okay.
He will try to focus in on that little inner world.
Okay.
He's trying to talk to Roku.
Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
I'm sorry, Kratos.
That's not gonna work. Yeah.
Okay. So you try to focus in. You are able to reach into this inner world. It's becoming easier for you. But you aren't able to see the individual you've talked to before. Instead, what winds up manifesting before you in this, it's kind of just formlessness, just a void, which you've managed to get into. And what stands before you is indistinct. It is humanoid, but there is no shape or features to it otherwise. and as it turns to, you assume, look to you, you hear a voice that's kind of shaky and distorted, and echoes through the void. So, you finally managed to look back farther?
How far back am I looking? That's the question.
You look now upon the one who stood before, the one you've already met.
You're the one who named the big guy.
You said the one who trained him?
Oh, the train the big guy. Yeah.
The one who became the big guy. Just as he became you.
Thank you for following.
Heard the conversation we just had.
I have.
Nods.
What was that?
As he nods. You know why we're becoming more.
I did not. I encountered one other such individual in my time. And my life was spent far away from this place. And cut short.
How much do you know about what we are?
Very little. I know that we are not natural in the same way most races are. That much is obvious. There are no natural creatures born of this realm who would elicit such fear in others.
So I've been told. What are we? Monsters or?
Our souls are complex, chaotic, and crowded. As to why, I have no answer.
Where did you hail from?
I hailed from a wood far from here. One I doubt you've heard of.
How much do you know about what we're capable of?
Each new incarnation discovers more and becomes more powerful than the last, so it would seem. My predecessor knew less than me, and my successor more than I.
He said that he got a little less as he started late.
A little less than he could have achieved. Not a little less than I.
Odds. That makes sense.
From what I can tell, you already stand on par with me when I was at the apex of my abilities.
I'm not strong enough yet for what's coming, am I?
I know not.
Can't say you haven't felt it.
I have felt something. What? I cannot tell.
Did you ever discover who she was?
Not for certain.
I'd rather not. I'd rather ask for advice from people who know more than just walking in the dark.
In time, you will come to know my predecessors. In time, you may even be able to speak to the first. A feat none of us have yet achieved.
No, I don't think I will. I'm nothing special.
You are the culmination of our knowledge and experience.
Why do I feel like I'm out of the loop?
Because you are still young in this way. You have lacked the ability to hone your edge, and as such, it remains dull, undisciplined. With time and training, it shall sharpen and hone.
Are you capable of training me?
You already have equaled what I was capable of. There is nothing I could teach you.
Watch through
Perhaps the
my
first could teach you beyond here.
You watch through my eyes. You notice my slip-ups. Some advice would be nice. If we are on par, means you're the best to ask because you know what we can do. I can grow stronger.
You can.
If I may ask, how far back were you able to read?
I reached to both of my predecessors, but I could not reach the first.
You know how many there are?
There is myself, my successor, two before me, and yourself, as well as the first.
Number 6 then.
You are.
And have any of you spoken to the first? Sure. Coming here.
The one who succeeded him immediately claims to have heard his voice, but that was a long time ago.
I will keep training.
As well you should. My time with you grows short now. You must return to the waking world.
Of course. If I need advice, I will come back. Horse gives him a small, head bow.
You think it does the same, but again, you can't see this individual clearly.
Yeah, I will draw myself back out.
All right. You come back into whatever conversation everybody else was having.
I do not.
It's probably the conversation about the dagger.
This dagger has potential. Granted, it is dangerous. I do not wish to attune to it as a weapons requiring attunement is more in the realm of those who practice martial arts. And not martial arts as in karate and kung fu, all that stupid shit. Martial arts is just the art of martial combat.
Mhm.
And that's where you come back in.
Yeah. You all saw Corvus full lotus pose, fucking meditating.
Well, we're used to this.
It's Corvus.
And you see the eyes sort of open. So,
Anyway, well, if you don't wish to use it, Corvus, how much of our conversation did you hear?
tail end of it.
Okay, well, and Lessla will explain to you exactly what the dagger does.
Corvus almost snarls at it. Like it's a horrible thing.
Alright, well,
I
looks
don't want
like,
that horror. It's
look,
filth.
looks like this is just going in when this is going to get lost in a bag of holding. That's all this dagger is going to be. Does this dagger have a name, Shadow?
Not one that you know of.
Stab.
Okay.
Full stab. Charles piercer.
Charon.
Jeremiah.
Again, you may have someone who could offer a little bit more information about it.
Yeah, she's just down the hall.
She's in a conversation right now. And also,
I mean,
this dagger is going to get lost into a bag of holding until we can figure out how to not hurt ourselves with it.
I'm calling the dagger Jeremiah.
Oh, also, Shadow.
For some reason, that makes it sound southern.
Shadow. You
Yes.
probably
Charles
aren't.
Power from Down Under.
God damn it. Anyway, you may not be paying attention to the stream, but the Dungeon Alchemist Twitch channel followed and said they liked your map.
Oh, well, thank you.
No.
I thought,
This current one that I'm using?
yes.
Oh, very nice.
Anyway,
As Corvus begins drawing eyes on it. There.
well, it's
I can
usually
make that work.
Corvus. It's usually Corvus.
Usually.
It is
You can
usually.
usually
me.
tell by the
I'm
color
writing
of
notes.
everything.
I'm being a good boy.
I take very, very meticulous notes in video form. All right. Well, I feel
I'm
like
now
it's,
hesitant to leave the map.
well, they're not
Anyway,
they're not
definitely will
watching
have to move
that.
back
Yeah.
to the Waterdeep map.
You know, you could always Dungeon Alchemist the Waterdeep map and see how that goes.
Uh, what?
Oh, did you not see? Did you not see the?
I did not. That's the first time I've seen it.
I love him. It's adorable.
Hold up, I need to do as per tradition. Actually, I need to zoom in to do that.
What are we doing as per tradition?
I think that's a thumbnail.
Okay then. But no, at some point, Vale does. Actually, I can keep you all in there. Why am I
Yeah.
sleeping?
Because
on
it
the
had
road
to be
again.
the Shadow Junior. That is the only reason the
Okay.
universe wanted that to happen.
Okay.
You just knew intuitively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you go ahead. As you continue, at some point, Vale does join you, all towards the entrance. Looking a little awkward, I guess is the best way to put it.
Good, he
He's not
fits
really
in.
sure how to go about this.
Well, at which point, Lessla will say is, well, even with everything that's been said, the choice is still yours.
And I thank you for that. I am inclined to listen to my mother's advice. I have wanted answers for a long time as to the secrets about myself.
Well,
The Sapphire Gods, because the welcome club.
we do not have answers for you, but we may find them. Well,
That is what I am hopeful of.
I think first thing is first, we need to take you to the Adventurers Guild, unless for some reason you're already registered with them.
I am not.
Well, Lessla looks at the others and says, I can go deal with the bureaucracy. I just need to stop by. Never mind. You all may be free to do
You
what's
go deal with that. I can take him to the Adventurers Guild. It's not like the bureaucracy is that difficult there.
all right. At which point, I think now is when I'll send the crow to get Laura. Because I need her
Okay.
to know so that we have someone that can babysit the dragon. That's not Zarfea.
Who put a fucking arrow in a child?
As I said, as per
Who
tradition.
has that color?
Lessla.
You bitch.
How dare?
I have done this to every penguin that Ruford has drawn.
How dare? He is a
This is the
baby.
first time anybody's noticed it.
He is a baby.
Penguin's good.
Anyway,
I mean,
can't
it's
just
a Shadow
remove it, but
Junior,
yeah.
so I guess it's essentially the son of the god, the son of God here.
as according to the Christian religion, the Son of God died.
He came back though.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway. Who is going with Vale, who was not?
Yo,
I guess it's Sapphire's going with.
Was or was not?
was. I am going.
Okay.
Yeah, Lessla is putting the dragon away.
Okay.
I really
Jeez.
can't wait to hit level 5 so I have sending, so I can just use sending.
He's just going to go to the Adventurers Guild.
Corvus will join to the Adventurers Guild, but he will split off just a little bit before and go to the thrift shop, see if it's open.
Okay. So we'll deal with Corvus in the thrift shop first, because that's easy enough to deal with.
Mhm.
They are in fact open, Corvus.
Window repaired?
Yes.
Okay.
One window looks noticeably newer than the other.
Yeah, like, that's handprints.
Mm-hmm.
Corvus will, he'll walk in.
You notice the door has also been replaced.
Yes, coarse wood. No wood. It's
Hmm.
different wood. Grains are different.
It's newer.
Yeah. I tell who made it, or no? So no, like.
Not readily.
Okay, so it's not a style I recognize.
It's not a master artisan's work. No.
I'm not looking for master artists. I'm looking for a particular artisan.
It is not theirs. No.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Got a job here. That would be worrying. I'll walk in.
So you walk in. It is empty. There is simply the bell on the counter as per usual.
Yeah. Cause will help the Drake up into the so he stands on the counter so he can ring the bell.
Okay, you let the Drake up to ring the bell, and after a moment, the same tiefling man comes out. Been a while since you've seen him.
Yeah.
He kind of scratches at his kind of slightly elongated 5 o'clock shadow.
You mean his beard? Elongated 5 o'clock out. You mean a beard shadow?
It's not quite enough to be called a beard yet. It just looks like he hasn't shaved in a couple days.
Oh dear.
There's not enough there to be called a beard, but there's slightly more than 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay.
It's at the in-between stage, for which there is no name to my knowledge.
8 o'clock shadow.
But anyway, he comes up to the counter and with a big smile, "Ah, welcome, welcome, friend. Tell me, how may I help you today?"
Well, there are a few things. Wondering if you have things for safe storing and carrying. Again, I'm looking for a skin and knife if you have anything like that fits that bill, and general protection.
Hmm. No, I have none of those things at the moment. I I wouldn't call it a storage item, but it may help you in carrying certain items.
Is
And he
around
pulls out a small little sack. On it there is a cartoonish drawing of an imp.
just sort of looks at it, looks back at him.
It won't let you hold anything, but uh, if you take the time to connect with it, not necessarily attunement the same way as most items, mind you, but simply take the time to allow it to grow comfortable with you. Yet there are a number of small servants that it can summon.
Servants.
He points to the cartoonish drawing of the imp.
Want those evil?
The standard ones, yes. These are decidedly odd. In a good way.
Odd.
In a good way.
Odd. Ow.
Well, for one thing, they're mostly very obedient, if incomprehensible. I have heard that some individuals have made the attempt to understand them and partially succeeded, but I myself am not one of them.
So what exactly do they do? Just whatever you tell them to do?
Within reason, they aren't exactly capable of combat or fighting your battles for you, but they can do a myriad of small, menial tasks.
Fan. Capable of doing things myself.
Was that a desire to purchase it, or
No, it was
no?
he should be fine doing things himself.
I see. And he'll put it away. I don't have anything for skinning, per se, but I do have a sort of cook's utensil.
What utensil?
Cook's utensil.
Cook's utensil. Cook. What's it do?
He pulls out a cast iron frying pan and lays it on the ground on the table before you. Among being able to be used as a perfectly ordinary frying pan, is also capable of repelling any and all water from one's person, if held like so, and he holds it above his head.
It's also a +3 club.
It's a drying pan.
Yes. A very trusty one at that.
Good joke.
What happens if
Going
you
round
hold
the block,
it? Oh, what if you hold it over your head and jump into a river?
And water? Yeah, no, you will not. You're dry. You're completely dry while surrounded by water.
I mean, you can ask him.
Oh, I don't care. Um. Well, that is definitely interesting. I'll maybe consider that on a later date. Hello?
Yep. He nods and does put it away. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Looks around because I know you've got stuff pretty prepared. Is there anything that just stands out?
Let's see. There is a very stylish red rope with what looks like a harness on it.
Okay. Like a, I guess harness could be anything. That's just to the rope. And what's that for?
What was that?
What's that for?
Oh. So he walks over to the wall and pulls it down. And gives you there's a sort of knot at the end, like a handle. He gestures for you to hold it.
Does so.
You do so, and the harness springs up off the ground as though it is attached to something. You hear the distinct noise of a chicken.
Do you want an invisible chicken, Ruford?
This is what use does this serve?
Very little, truthfully.
Is, and what would you be asking for something like this exactly?
What was that?
What would you be asking for something like this exactly?
It's very mundane, but also very hard to find. I haven't been able to find anyone who's capable of replicating it. So for this one, 20 gold.
Anything else of note on the walls, or is that it?
There are a few weapons of various varieties. Some clubs, there's a rather odd-looking sword. Odd-looking
Longsword?
in the fact that it is pink,
Long or short? Avatar?
long, as well as a length of chain and an ordinary rope, and two black circles connected and attached to handles. They look a bit like a pair of spectacles that are jet black.
What do the glasses do?
So he picks them up, goes to, if you let him, put them on your head.
I will allow this.
He
No.
puts them on your head. You can't see anything.
Let's see.
He takes them off. He puts them on and looks away from you, and light shines from them, like two spotlight beams
From them?
from the lenses
Okay. Oh.
in whichever direction he is looking. You can assume that is the trade-off.
I was gonna ask if you had anything for seeing in the dark, but I can see that. That's very obvious.
Yes and no. He kind of holds them up.
You can see, you can't see through them, but it creates light.
Yes.
Yeah. When it had 4 eyes, then it would be great. Let's see. You have nothing for traversing the dark, then.
No, I'm afraid nothing better than these. These themselves were quite hard to come by.
Well, because someone made them once and decided not to make them again.
No, I can certainly say that was not the reason. He pulls out another pair from his pocket and then puts it back.
Why does he have a pet? Never mind. And the chains, I'm guessing, just a normal chain.
Hardly. He takes it, puts it down on the counter, claps his hands twice, and one head of the chain rises up like a snake. Looks at you, looks at him, looks back at you. Just sits there swaying.
I was having some flashbacks. We don't have anything for protection. We don't have anything in the dark. Carrying or holding things. We don't have anything for skinning. Things you have for fighting is a pink sword.
You're asking about the pink sword?
Just so the only thing you have for fighting is pink sword and a club.
No, there are some clubs and other things, but that's the most eye-catching one.
Yeah, the pink sword definitely is eye-catching.
Well, that one is an interesting one. I would advise being very careful with it if you were to test it out.
What's it do? Just anything you cut pink?
No. Perhaps this one we should demonstrate outside.
Freezes an eyebrow, but we'll step away from the counter a little bit.
He picks it up and takes it outside.
Thoroughfare. Just in the thoroughfare.
It's on a fairly quiet alley.
Okay.
There's a few people around, but not many.
Okay.
He takes a spare scrap of wood and kind of stands it up on the side of the wall. Takes the blade, gives it a whack, and the piece of wood goes flying down the street.
So it sends things flying.
Yes.
Bad thing. Unfortunately, Corvus doesn't know how to use that. Hmm.
Is there anything else you would be interested in?
Let's see. You got any things for cold weather or traveling?
Sorry, what was that?
Cold weather or traveling?
Cold weather or traveling? He does not have anything like that at this time.
It's just nods.
The only other things he has are a looks like a brown cloak and a book.
What about the brown cloak and the book?
The brown cloak I will not demonstrate. It is capable of summoning a specific animal, but it is very angry if you do summon it.
What's that with that?
The book of the type of animal, a rather large and very upset grizzly bear.
The book?
He opens the book, and there is a skeleton, a little paper skeleton, Oregon like pop-up book skeleton, sitting behind a pop-up book bar, scrubbing it. It looks up at you. Hi, friend.
Howdy.
Any advice that you might need? I'd offer you a drink. But gestures to the paper.
Yeah.
Gestures to the paper.
This man here all novelty items, or does he ever have anything particularly?
Uh, most of the stuff in the shop's exactly what it's clacked up to be. He clacks his bones together. Tough crowd, tough crowd. Okay.
Anything you'd recommend in this place?
Well, depends on what you need. This book's always very nice, and I'm not the only one in here. Though some of the others are a little bit dried up.
Yeah.
It's a magical, terrible pun book.
Thank you for being honest. Last time I
And
was
he
here, you
closes up the book.
mentioned you had scrolls.
I did. I do not at the moment.
Lead to the carrot.
You say that, and he like immediately goes to shush you. We do not speak of it.
He puts his hand between my lips. There's a look of like almost.
Not quite. He can't quite reach your lips, but you can tell he would if he could.
Unfortunately, it don't seem like you have anything I need right now.
Yes, unfortunately, the one scroll I do have, I do not believe is one I can sell, and is therefore not in this shop.
The scroll that details your deed of ownership.
No, it is a magical scroll of sorts, but... Well, I can't say why anyone would create such a spell.
What's it do?
Creates a bright flash of light that does nothing but annoy people.
So it creates the sun.
No. I call it the Scroll of Ireball,
Let's see.
because that's exactly what it draws from everybody around you.
You know, you could have called it the Scroll of Flashing. That would have been better.
Well,
He has another thing that's called something of flashing.
well. I will say the dagger you sold me last time has come in useful, so I will try this place again. But for now,
Always happy to be of service.
odds and bleeps.
All
And
right.
if the group is still in the field, he'll meet them there.
Okay, so I believe Lessla was going to the... we can gloss over the Adventurers Guild and sign up, unless there's something Sapphire wants to discuss with Vale.
I mean, probably ask if he wants to, have a drink or two, considering
Cheese
the
is also
shit
there.
they.
Oh, that's right.
Yay!
That's right. I thought you were going with Lessla. That's my
No,
bad.
Cheese is pointedly not going with Lessla.
That
Yeah,
is
she's
right.
still angry. Angry
Yeah,
cheese
there's
with
a...
scary cheese.
If there's any conversations you wish to have, you are welcome to.
I mean, after getting Vale, with the guild signed up and whatnot, she will ask if they want to join her for at least a drink at the bar, because everything that happened yesterday.
Cheese will go to the bar.
Okay.
What about Vale? Is he gonna come?
To the bar? Yeah, he'll go with you.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and just
I'm not
bring you
getting
all over
anything
to that
terribly
map.
strong.
Cheese isn't drinking. Not alcohol, at least.
Man, do they ever leave that table?
Ignore
Not
them being
unless it's
there. I just
bought
don't
for
care to do it. I simply don't care to constantly move NPCs around.
That's
I
fair.
get that. You're good.
Which is why you can also find Lessla somewhere on here. Lessla, yeah, and Corvus down there in the shop.
Yeah, we'll leave them be.
And a drawing of Elminster for some reason.
Fucking. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that was way down there. Or was it way up there? Hang on, let me zoom the fuck out.
My dear lord.
Alright. I'm not seeing the drawing of Elminster.
I moved it to the GM later.
Ah, damn.
It's when Elminster shows up. He has the token already.
Yeah.
No!
Cheese isn't going to drink unless a bargoer happens to buy her one. But she probably is not sitting in between the two of them.
You want to switch?
Valen, yeah. She's just honestly kind of keeping her eyes around the rest of the bar to see what's going on.
Okay. There's
Sapphire is gonna
a
do something like middle ground. Oh, there he is.
There's a few other individuals, but none that especially catch your attention.
And probably all that give us a wide berth.
Mm-hmm. I have to thank you again for agreeing to take me on.
Oh, it's
I
no
know
worries.
I'm not the most experienced in your uh, line of work.
Well, what can you do?
I suppose I'll have to learn quickly.
Well, if you need help, I guess I'm open for sparring. Well,
I've
tomorrow, not today.
I've never been the best in a stand-up fight.
All right, then what are your strengths?
Well, I've studied a bit in the mystic arts, both divine and arcane.
Sapphire nods, considering her mother. That checks out, and considering he likes Elistray, also kind of checks out in her mind. All right.
As for my abilities, therein my affinities lie more in the realms of. Let me actually take a look and see where his spells are, what schools they're from.
Abjuration. A lot of cleric spells are abjuration.
Please tell me we have a healer.
We have healers.
Let's see.
A more
Yeah, one, me.
I can heal.
Fuck, you talking about healers?
I can heal.
What spell do you have? The fucking Wither and Bloom?
Wither and Bloom, yes, and I use it like in every fight we're in.
Fuck? For yourself.
No, I usually
So
use it
he
for other
actually
people.
he actually has a lot of spells.
oh jeez.
Yeah, cleric.
Yeah, Arcana Domain clerics have a lot of spells.
Yeah, they get so many.
Yeah. So, because I don't know them off the head, I'm just going to list off what he has, and you can do
Oh
with them what you
lord.
will. So, for cantrips, he has Guidance, Mending, Spare the Dying, Mind Sliver, Mage Hand, and Dancing Lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
For first level spells, Detect Magic, Magic Missile, Detect Poison and Disease, Detect Evil and Good, Shield of Faith, and Healing Word. For second level, he has Magic Weapon, Arcanist's Magic Aura, Enhance Ability, and Silence.
So it sounds like he's divination, divination and abjuration specialist is the majority of his spells.
Largely, yes.
He also deals a fair bit in enchantment.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I
So
think
Sapphire hearing this will nod. Does he say he knows how to heal?
Yes.
Okay. Jeez, you're not alone anymore.
I mean, he has Healing Word. I did mention that.
I know. I wanted to make sure he said something
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
he would have.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Jeez,
was
you're
in
not
character. You told that to Cheese.
Yeah, Cheese, you're not alone anymore.
What?
He can
Oh.
heal. Are you okay?
My worries are full.
You sure you don't want to talk it over a drink? Probably not one of the dwarvish ones.
I found myself not being particularly calm.
You did have a sampling.
I can't help but feel like I'm intruding on this conversation.
No, I'm just talking.
He nods and sort of shoots a glance to Sapphire.
Please has her smile like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is Sapphire.
I'm just gonna say, while there's a little break in the conversation, if at any point, with arrive, just like,
Okay.
Well, if you want to talk about it later tonight, tomorrow, I'm all ears.
I know.
All right. As long as you get it off your chest at some point.
He's not.
And Sapphire's gonna sip her drink.
Mm-hmm.
Because, God, she needed it yesterday.
No, Vale himself is rather quiet unless you ask him anything.
Mm-hmm. You know, you can ask about us, too. Or at least me.
Me as well. If you...
We are going to be in a group together, so might as well get to know each other so we can better work together.
I can't say I'm especially well experienced in, well, social matters in general.
You would not be alone in that in the group. Out of character, I looked at my monitor like, excuse me. When Cheese was like, I don't think any of us are. I'm like, rude.
I see.
At least half of us are socially awkward.
I don't believe I asked for either of your names.
Oh.
Or did I?
I told you my name after I figured out you were Vale. It was Sapphire Eldercrow.
Yes, I do remember now. I apologize.
It has been a long day.
Remembering names is not something I've had to do in the past.
The Sapphire nods because she gets it.
I am called Bleu Cheese.
I see. Like, how do you respond to that?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very unique name.
Thing on his sneak.
So at this point, Corvus would probably show up.
What's up, fuckers? The party has arrived.
The wizard in our party is called Lessla Silverster. I'm sorry, Lady Silverster of the Silver Marshes. Sapphire is kind of eye rolling at that. And Sapphire watches as they slowly pass her. And that would be Boy. And I'll lean down and pet Boy as he passes. And I'll let the other one introduce you. If he wants to talk. Looking at Corvus.
So Corvus like gets to his spot and like leans on the countertop. Looks over at the Vale. So we'll be joining us on some of our little contracts.
Repeat that for me, please.
So I forget that I have to talk a little louder when I do that voice. So we'll be joining us on a few of our contracts from now on. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so. If you'll have me.
I'm guessing you've already explained your skill.
Yes, both, to the woman at the counter as well as, both your friends here.
You know how to camp.
How to what?
Cam.
Camp.
Camp. I have had to in the past, yes.
Are you ready to hurt people?
Sapphire was like, hey, Corvus, introduce yourself. And this is like, you know how to camp. You know how to, are you ready to hurt people? I'm like, this is not where I thought this was going to go.
I would prefer to avoid bloodshed if at all possible, but I am also wise enough to realize that is sometimes not an option available.
Would you leave an ally to die?
I
Sapphire's just
don't
gonna
see
slowly take a drink.
I don't see any reason I would. No.
Okay. There's been a lot of fighting recently. A lot of us getting hurt. I have to make sure that someone's not gonna leave me for dead again.
I see.
Corvus, do you want a drink?
I will be having one. Mrs. Cheese just have one. Do not want anything, ma'am.
I discovered that I'm particularly
Well, I know this place does it, but there's different drinks. Sweet tea's quite nice, if you can get hold of it.
Oh my god! You did not just say that! Oh my god! Ruford, I love you. You're wonderful. Never change. That's just like such a... Because Corvus is southern, that's such a
Yeah.
southern thing. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
Sweet tea.
That makes me more happy. Anyway. Cheese. 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 I suppose I
Odds. And waves over the barkeep, which I think might be the tiefling.
It is not the tiefling.
Okay.
No, the tiefling's the one that keeps shouting, "Barkeep, another!"
Yeah.
Well, they're not here, I don't think.
Right.
I get an ale and a sweet tea if you have it.
It's not a common request, but I can oblige. And after a short while, he will return with he'll assume that you mean iced when he hands it over.
Not sweet tea. Like,
So there is a pint of ale, well, not pint, mug of ale, and a mug of a dark brown liquid with chunks of ice inside of it.
Cheese will take a sip of the sweet tea.
Tastes like sweet tea.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of sugar in it.
He's like... She's taken aback by it a little bit. And she sniffs it. This is tea?
well, it's a type of way you prepare tea, yes.
I think I like it. She'll continue to drink it.
As you get to the bottom, there will be some grains just sitting down there.
He's fine with that.
Hmm.
She knows how to drink tea. She likes tea.
Vale himself does order some wine.
So, do you have any questions for us, Vale?
None of which I can think at the moment. Perhaps that will change in time. I'm not exactly used to having people to ask questions. Aside from anything related to my work at the clergy.
Sapphire just kind of nods. Because that seems to be a running theme with the party.
Well,
Times like this, Sapphire's really
we
glad
will.
she has her brother.
We will do our best to be welcoming, but some of us can rub people the wrong way.
Tensions may get high.
And you bring a bunch of individuals with different ideas and wants. I think that is what tends to happen, though.
Cheese looks a little bit embarrassed at that.
Let's just put a hand on her shoulder. No, but I'll tell you. Sometimes when you seek answers, sometimes it's good to look in yourself and decide whether the answer is worth seeking. That's just a bit of advice I'm going to give you now.
I see.
Sapphire's having flashbacks to the argument between Lessla and Cheese. Like,
Cheese just kind of goes back to quietly drinking her sweet tea and looking around the rest of the bar warily.
Sapphire is going to turn her attention to the other two party members, since Vale doesn't have any questions. What about you two? Might as well take the chance to get to know each other a bit better.
Well, today is your birthday. Don't you have to get back to your brother?
I mean, yes, but I can stay for a drink or two.
Points to the drink on the table. Did you buy your own drink?
Yes, I bought my own drink.
And
What was
Shouldn't
that
be.
noise?
My- My roommate messaged me and her ringtone is coffee.
Okay.
My text tone for her is green tea.
Well, I suppose what's the normal thing to do here? Wish you happy naming day. This is the correct thing.
Thank you.
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you want me to tell my brother the same?
Please do.
I don't think he much cares for me.
It's fine. Visit him enough and he'll probably get used to you.
I would wish you the same as well.
Thank you.
Even if I have not known you very long.
It's fine. It's probably the most birthday wishes I've had in a while, so it's nice.
How are you this morning? I wasn't able to ask.
Is he talking to me or Vale?
No, both Cheese and Sapphire.
Oh, I'm doing fine as ever.
I am tired.
Look it.
I know that. Did you say you look it?
Look it.
Oh no. Cheese flushes a little bit at that.
When you do that, you almost see corner of Core's mouth crack slightly.
Oh.
Crack upwards slightly. Smallest twitch.
Would Sapphire notice this?
You're not right next to him.
That's fair. Someone needs to tell Boy.
Cheese will place her hand like on his like arm. I I just need a good night's rest. I'll be fine.
Of course. Don't suppose you'll be using a normal place of rest. That
Oh, no, I don't think I.
well, our camp's open to you.
Um, you live outside of the city, correct?
Yes. Under the stars.
Oh, Cheese looks like she's been walking in the desert for 7 days and you just offered her water. If you would be so kind, I.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Um,
And he seems to catch himself for after a second, like blinks and goes, you as well. Eldercrow.
I guess Sapphire kind of finishes her drink as that conversation happens.
I forgot that I put my mic up. So if that is the case, we'll go ahead and move over to Lessla. So I believe you said you were getting Lara's attention using the Raven.
Yes.
All right. So you and Zarfeo, along with you, arrive back at the inn you're staying at, and you do see Lara outside waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Lessla will regard Alara as she approaches and say, before I explain, what languages do you speak? As she gestures for everyone to go inside.
Give the GM a moment while he looks something up. Way up here. Did I pin it? I did not pin it.
I apologize.
It's okay.
You should have known this one was coming up because the dragon only speaks one language.
Uh-huh. Oh, she speaks Draconic, I can tell you that.
Okay, that's good.
As for other languages she speaks... Where's her stat block? Somewhere around here. Anyway, I'll find it later, but she does speak Draconic.
Okay. That's
Which I'm assuming is the one you wanted to know.
Yeah. As soon as she says Draconic, Lessla says, good. Follow me. And she leads them up to her room.
She does.
Mm-hmm. Once they're inside the room, Lessla will lock the door, draw the curtains, all the fun stuff. And once that's done, Lessla will...
Lara starts to get progressively more and more nervous as you do.
Yep. Lessla will gently take her bag off and lower it to the ground. And as she opens it, she'll say in Draconic, says, all right, Dion, you may come out now.
The little dragon does crawl out. Look over at Lara. Hi.
And the moment...
And Lara just...
Yeah. The moment Diorn says something, Lessla will put her hands together. She says, "Now I need you to be very calm about this."
She nods.
This is, and Lessa will say the full name of Diorn Altieri. This is Diorn Altieri. She is a silver dragon.
She's... What?
She is a silver dragon. A wormling, mind you, but she's still a dragon.
She nods.
And
How did you find her?
well, I may, and Lesla's saying this part in common, I may or may not have accidentally made her.
I need to roll something for Laura. Okay.
I heard that dice clatter.
You did not hear a dice clatter.
I thought I did.
You might be about to.
Yeah, and this is how we lost Shadow.
You see Laura start to Lessa, you grew up in a family of nobles.
Mm-hmm.
Your family was tougher than most, but you've seen your fair share of fainting spells. You have to know when they're real or fake. Laura's about to have a very real one.
Seeing that, Lessla will quickly move over to her to keep her from falling over. I assume, does Zarfea notice, or does she like...
She does. She's standing a little further back than you are.
Okay.
She rolled a 5 and she has a +1 con.
Okay. Laura? Are you still with me?
She does not respond. She looks pretty out of it.
It's at that point that Lessla kind of lets her mask fall a little bit as she gently puts Laura down and then just rubs her face outright.
Zarfea is not really sure what to do, but seeing as you're not freaking out, she's being pretty calm as well.
She has had a fainting spell. She'll give it a minute. Although I'm not quite used to seeing this happen. Usually it's faked as a way of creating drama. And Lessa will roll her eyes as she walks over to her desk and just kind of stands by it.
Yeah, Sophia's just gonna kind of take your word for it.
Mhm.
Not really sure what else she could do.
Lessla will try and recompose her mask as she turns around and looks at Diorn. What's Diorn doing?
And she's just sitting on your shoulders, looking at the unconscious Laura and back at you. But seeing as you don't seem to be upset, she doesn't either. Well, aside from how much she has been since she got here.
I apologize, Diorn. It did not cross my mind. Bringing you into Waterdeep might cause you discomfort, but, well, until you are more able to take care of yourself, it is best to keep you with people that can protect you.
She nods as best the dragon can and just kind of curls up a little bit on your shoulder.
Lessla will once again take a finger and run it along the blade of her head.
She curls up a little bit closer.
At which point, Lessla will move over to her bed and sit on it while she waits for Laura to regain her senses, and will look to Zarfair and says, "And is there anything you would like to add to what's happened thus far?"
It's more than I ever expected to happen to me. Best option that I have is just to trust you.
Well, at the very least, you can trust that I stay to my word. It would be foolhardy of me to besmirch my family's name by not keeping to my promises.
She nods. You've kept it so far. What do you plan to do with her? Gesturing towards the dragon.
We need to keep her safe until she can take care of herself. I plan, for the time being, if we can keep her secret, to teach her some of my magics and may be able to allow her to access her own internal magics faster, which would allow her to change what she appears as, so she could exist in the city on her own. Outside of that, I'm going to call upon my master and seek his advice. As knowledgeable as I am on dragons, he is more, and unlike me, he is a bit more charitable. And he may know what's best, considering his advanced study of dragons. He may even be able to guide us to a place where she can be safe. A dragon should not be cooped up in a room or a city. Well, and Lessla pets Diorn a little more. I say that, but silver dragons have a habit of spending their entire lifetimes in cities. Well, they did. Something about their nature is an infatuation with the human race. Honestly, it's something I will never understand. And when I say human race, I mean humanoid races in general, not specifically humans. Although they do have a tendency to be human. I'm rambling. What would you do in my shoes, Orphea?
Arphea thinks for a moment. I realize I once again put my mic up for a bit. She takes a moment to think. A long moment to think. I don't know. But I want to do right by her. Whatever that might be. Maybe I...
What was that last bit, Shadow?
Maybe I understand being